First time? First time going on a date with an unhinged lunatic? There, buddy. Probably won't be your last. She's clearly taking advantage of him offering to pay by like drinking super expensive liquor. At the same time though, like you can't expect a second date if you're gonna ask her to pay you back. I'm just saying, which maybe he doesn't care about. Maybe he would rather have his money back than have a second date. One thing I love to cover is we love a good nice girl. We love the nice girl subreddit. We love seeing what the nice girls are up to. I found another one for ya. This person posted, I just want to know if I was getting my money back. Let's read this conversation. Hey, had a great time last night. I was just wondering if you were ever going to Venmo me for the drinks you had. It's not a bother, but you did say you would pay me back. Now, okay, I'm gonna pause here because I'm not gonna lie. When I first started this, I was like, that's kind of corny. I'm sorry. You guys can judge me for this if you want, but I would not recommend to you gentlemen to, after a date, message the girl asking her to pay you back for it. I'm sorry, it's just a little corny. It's a bit corny. I'm sorry. You either establish from the jump, hey, on first dates, I prefer to split the check if that's okay. You either say that from the jump, or you put yourself in a position of like, let me get the meal, you pay for the drinks, something like that. You either establish that from the jump or you just eat it. You just eat the cost, because I do think that it is corny as hell to message someone the next day going, so anyway, are you gonna spot me half for that date last night? And you can ask me, does it survive the gender swap? Like, would I find it equally as corny? I mean, I can't imagine a situation where like a girl goes on a date, offers to pay for it, and then asks him to split it the next day. But yes, I would also find that corny. Like, it's corny to me. I'm sorry. I'm glad that some of you guys agree with me, but I would not recommend doing this. Like, and you know, I've paid money for dates as well, and I've lost out on those investments as well, so I can speak to it too. You don't message them the next day and be like, can you pay me back for the date? In general, don't do it. So when I first started reading this, I was like, this is kind of corny, brother, but I definitely get back on his side pretty quickly. She says, oh hey, lol, I guess I had a pretty good time last night, but I think it's weird you're bringing up the money now. I thought the point of a date was to pay for the other person. And so I agree with her at first, but then he goes, well, I didn't have a problem paying for your meal and dessert. I'm just asking because you had pretty much the whole top shelf at the bar. Again, aggravating that like she's clearly taking advantage of him offering to pay by like drinking super expensive liquor. At the same time though, like you can't expect a second date if you're gonna ask her to pay you back. I'm just saying, which maybe he doesn't care about. Maybe he would rather have his money back than have a second date. But before we keep going, it finally happened. The sponsor my husband has been waiting for. We got Magic Spoon, baby! Cereal is my husband's #1 squirrel brain comfort food. He's the chef of our family, but whenever he needs something quick and satisfying, cereal will always do the trick. Meanwhile, I am the aggressive jock of the family. I am constantly working out and trying to hit my protein goals, especially training for a half marathon this year. Magic Spoon is where our worlds collide. Because it's not just a cereal, it's a high protein, no sugar, carb conscious cereal. And it manages to do all of that with that satisfying, crispy, crunchy, reinvented childhood flavor without the usual chalky stickiness of a lot of other protein-rich snacks. Every serving comes with 13 to 14 grams of protein, no grams of sugar, and 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating and hit your protein goals. It's an awesome, nutritious option for when you just don't have time in the morning to make a whole omelet, or by the evening when you're just way too exhausted to make dinner. And if you're feeling even lazier than that, you don't even have to grab the milk or dirty a dish, because Magic Spoon also sells grab-and-go protein-rich treats. These little homies have about 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and 1 to 2 grams of net carbs for some fuel on the go. My favorite flavors? I'm definitely a frosted girly on the cereal, and honestly, I would punch my sister in the face for another box of blueberry muffin treats. Sorry, girl. Go ahead and use my code Dadvocate using the link in my description box down below so you can try Magic Spoon or Magic Spoon Treats for $5 off. You can also find it on Amazon or at your local grocery store. TJ and I spotted it in the wild out at a local Meijer recently. And Magic Spoon comes with a 100% happiness guarantee, so if you don't like it for any reason, they will give you a refund on your product, no questions asked. So click the link in the description box down below, type in magicspoon.com/dadvocate, or click the QR code right here on screen so you can can get Magic Spoon for $5 off. TJ and I are gonna be spooning so hard. Anyway, let's get back to the video. You know, but I would also not expect her to pay you. So she goes on to say, oh, just say you're effing broke. The whole point of a date is for the man to pay for the woman. But LMFAO, apparently now this generation is full of homophobic slur sissy men who can't even do that. This is where she starts to lose me a little bit, because I don't think the gays deserve to be spoken about so derogatorily like this. Like, it's to say that he's a homophobic slur because he doesn't want to pay for these expensive drinks. It doesn't even make any sense, because gay people love to pay for expensive drinks. Like, you might as well have just dropped the N-bomb at that point. Like, these slurs don't make sense. Like, there's not really an appropriate time to use a slur against someone. Like, that's why they're called slurs, because they're deeply offensive and inappropriate. But it reminds me of when Charlie Sheen called his white ex-wife the N-word. Like, where did that even come from? Anyway, this continues. Some part of the conversation got cut off, but he continues to say, well, to reiterate, I had no problem paying for our whole date, but you insisted hours prior that you were paying for drinks. So this changes things. They did have that agreement. He says, I feel like a relationship goes 50-50. I'm surprised you feel this way, especially considering how much you were on me last night. I don't really feel comfortable talking to you anymore. Very polite way of ending it. But I also love that he calls her out, because you can tell here she's like, as soon as he asks her to be responsible for the amount of money she spent, she turns it to, I mean, I guess I had a good time. Apparently forgetting that she was literally like practically hanging off his arm, apparently. So I'm glad he called her out a bit for that. But then she continues on with homophobic slur, ass B-word, sissy little boy, stupid B-word. Then a grand Australian greeting. See you next Tuesday. Don't you ever text me again. For the record, I was doing you a favor. Laugh, react, laugh, react, laugh, react. You're so ugly. I felt bad not giving you a chance when I seen your account. Ha 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 ha. Homophobic slur, ugly B-word, fatso, gay little boy, uneven haircut ass boy. How does your hair go two ways? Bye, brokey. You remember when she was like, just say you're broke? Like, just say you have BPD. Like, just say that you have not filled out your medication prescription in years and do not intend to. Just say that you have had therapists fire you. Just say that, because that's a lot easier than saying all of this. In his message before posting this, he says, I, a 25-year-old male, met this woman on Tinder, asked her out on a date, and I thought it was going very well. Took her out to dinner, we ended up at a bar. At first, everything was fine until she began to drink heavily. I was under the impression she was going to pay, considering she made a comment about it while we were leaving dinner. Anyway, we spent the majority of the next day texting, but I brought up the money she owed me. Anyway, didn't expect her to react like this. I'm still confused. I love that, like, a bunch of guys probably who have been on plenty of Tinder nightmare dates are like, first time going on a date with an unhinged lunatic? There, buddy. Probably won't be your last. Oh my god. And this one is such a perfect definition of a nice girl too, because we've talked about how a nice guy is the type of guy who basically tries to win you over, acting as though he is a nice, genuinely good person. But the second you reject him in any way or cross his expectations of how you should be behaving in any way, he turns right into, whatever, you're an ugly bitch anyway. I didn't want you anyway, fatty. And she's like literally doing that playbook to a T. So this is like definition nice girl. You definitely found the right sub to post this one on, okay? Let's read some of the top comments. She 1000% even is going out with guys with the intent of getting free meals and drinks. She sounds like a loser. Guys, have you ever actually like proven that that was the case with you? Because I keep getting told that there really are girls out there who use guys as like a free meal ticket, and like call it experience bias, call it the fallacy of personal incredulity, because like I couldn't imagine doing this. Like I've definitely met girls who use guys for drugs. I've heard of that, like girls who pretend to like a guy so that he'll smoke her out or hook her up with whatever other illicit substance she uses. Girls who go out with guys or at least flirt heavily to get free drinks. But the free meal one really throws me off because it feels like that actually would be a lot of work just to get free food. Like going out to dinner with someone, you still have to be entertaining essentially, or at least like you would think that they would put in some effort. You still have to like get ready to go out, and I can't imagine it gives women the same type of social clout to be seen out in public with so many different guys as it does for men. So I'm curious, does anybody have any experiences where like they definitely know for a fact that like this girl was literally so broke or so hungry that she feigned an entire date just for a chicken Caesar salad? Because that's crazy. Like I'm a very hungry girl. I remain hungry. Okay, my metabolism is constantly working against me. Only my now teenage son has started to compete with who can eat the most in this house. Like, I stay eating, okay? And at my fastest of metabolism, hungriest and poorest, I've never done that. Okay, like I will only go out with a man if I like genuinely think that there's something that will have some fun. This is something I need you guys to mansplain to me, because this is new to me. I wonder if I could even like secretly get in. I wonder if I could like question some of my girlfriends and see if any of them would like cop to it or admit it. I want to like learn about the life of a free meal girl. Like what? Because I have heard of this. I have heard of moms going out on dates and then asking the guy to buy their kids a take-home meal. And what do you guys think about that? Because when it comes to the single moms who go out with the guy and then they go, do you think we could get a kids meal to go for my little one? Like, I feel like it doesn't hurt to ask. Like, I don't think it's the most offensive thing to at least like shoot your shot for your kiddo and like ask. But I feel like these women do need to kind of step back and understand that it does come across as disrespectful. It does come across as you taking advantage of them. You know what I mean? Now, at the same time, is this a possible way for a man to really ingratiate himself with this single mom? Like, I would say so. You know, like, I can't imagine being in this situation. It definitely doesn't survive the gender swap test, dude. Like, as someone who dated and married a single dad, if I was going out on a date with TJ and he asked me on our date, like, hey, do you think you could spot me for a meal for my son? I'm not gonna lie, I would do it. I would be like, oh, your kid needs to eat, okay? But I would probably be like, that felt off. Like, that felt weird that he would do that. I'm not even gonna lie, I would feel kind of weird about that one. But like, I don't know, if like, I don't know. It's always different when you're the woman paying. It always has like a different sense because of the way like society goes. Yeah, you probably just shouldn't do that. You probably should not. Okay. Guys, have you ever had a girl, you take her out on the food date and she asks if you'll get her another meal to go home just for her? Has that ever happened? Because that would definitely raise the alarm bells. That's when I would be like, really? You are using me as a free Instacart, bitch. That really would get my alarms going. That's crazy.